They were absolutely outstanding. Neymar, Hulk, and these players, it's just so difficult sometimes to mark them, and especially in the last third. I thought the first half was a fairly good half. I think we conceded a soft goal in the beginning, just before, as we started, we conceded a silly goal, the first one. And of course, the second goal just before half time, that killed us off, So, in the day, I was happy with the first half performance. I thought we moved the ball nicely, but at the end of the day, we were just beaten by a far better team than we were.
Resultado de 5-0 não diz o que foi totalmente o jogo. A equipe da África do Sul jogou muito bem.
The scoreline of 5-0 doesn't actually tell the whole story of the game. I think South Africa played very well, they moved the ball well, and they're a good team. It's actually a surprise that this team aren't at the World Cup the way that they play. The difference between the teams is that we have some very special quality players.
Obviously, like many players out there, learned lots of lessons tonight, which is important. When you play against a team like Brazil, Ron Williams has been playing well for his club. When you call him a youngster, he's been playing for 4 years in the Premier League, and I just thought he needed his opportunity. Give him his opportunity. He's done well in the training sessions and worked hard, and he can't. I don't want to point fingers at goals and was it his fault or wasn't his fault. It was a tough task for him tonight. It wasn't easy for him. He obviously had a little bit of nerves like everybody else, and it's one of those things that he could have been. The goals they scored, like I say, especially the third. For me, their third goal, their fourth goal was the best goal they scored tonight. The other two were mistakes, and at the end of the day, you've got to throw them in sometimes. Sometimes we get criticised for not throwing them in. When we throw them in, it's the same thing. But I was unhappy with them.
Os especiais, aqueles jogadores diferentes, aproveitam as oportunidades.
Happy with what I saw. There were a lot of times when we had players working hard for the team and not for themselves. Then the special players can take advantage as the guys who work hard open spaces for them. Normally, any coach would say that every area needs improvement because we always want to improve all of the time. But we're very happy with what we saw today in most areas. Obviously, there'll be one or two little things that we'll need to correct, and those will be that will be done in the training sessions.
We at the moment in work in progress. We're trying to get a squad down to a very younger age, age of 24 or so, and we're working towards something. And to play against a team like Brazil, it's a huge learning experience for some of the younger players. Patos is only 20 out there today, and a couple of other players, Zungo, 21, and so on. So I think they've learned a lot from it, and I think it's important, to sometimes play these kind of games. And we got beat 5-0. I wasn't too unhappy in certain times of the game match because we kept the ball nicely and we played, but in the last third we weren't clinical enough. The difference between the two teams, of course, when they had got the opportunities, they took them and they were clinical. We got to the last third, between the halfway line and between the 20 yards this side of the half and 20 yards that side of the half, we really kept the ball, played quite nicely at times, but the ideas we ran out of right in that area.